the 80s, the Doctor led the 76ers to 2 division titles and an NBA championship. Entering the 90s, the 76ers are a force to be reckoned with, led by their runaway freight train, Charles Barkley. He is guiding the NBA's hottest team to their first division title in 8 years. With the extra muscle of Rick Mahorn, Barkley and the 76ers have their eyes set on the playoffs. On the opposite end of the conference race, frustration has set in as the Hawks look from the outside in. Mike Fratello is having a hard time keeping the Hawks heads up after 2 heartbreaking losses in a row. Tied with Cleveland and 8 games remaining, they can't afford another loss at home. Neek needs a win. Barkley has a better idea next. In Atlanta tonight to take on the Atlanta Hawks. And a very pleasant Saturday evening, everybody. I'm Ron Thulin. Glad you can be with us. 8 games remain on the Atlanta Hawks schedule, and the playoff situation looks like this. Right now, Cleveland and Atlanta are tied for the 8th and final, but Cleveland has won that tiebreaker already. Philadelphia currently 3rd in the Eastern playoff race, but if they win their conference, they will be the number 2 seed. Kevin Lockery, 4 home and 4 away for the Atlanta Hawks. They have dug themselves into a hole. They must now get themselves out.
Ron, they're in a little bit of trouble right now. They haven't played well at
Hawks basketball. Start of the year, Derek Smith in place of Rick Mahorn out with that hyperextended knee. And the coach, Jim Lynam, in his 2nd season, a very successful record with Philadelphia, 110-86. For the Atlanta Hawks, they are 4-3 with this lineup. Dominique, Kevin Willis, Moses Malone, John Battle, and Doc Rivers once again starting for the Hawks as they come in at 35 and 39 under Coach Mike Fratello this year. 318 and 248, the numbers on him. And there is the man, Sir Charles Barkley. Some believe that he should be the MVP this year. Charles says he probably won't be the MVP as he kisses Moses on the head because he is Charles. He says some people won't vote for him just because he is Charles Barkley. But his statistics bear out that he definitely needs consideration. Jaminski against Willis. At center, we are set and we are underway. In a second, we have Philadelphia's ball.
Ron, this is a very small lineup for Philadelphia. 2-6-6 forwards, and Barkley's probably 6'5", 6'2", 6'3" in the backcourt, and then Jaminski, a real small team on the floor.
Must you keep Charles Barkley occupied?
You have to keep occupied on the other end to make it, to wear him down a bit if you can, and you have to keep him off the offensive boards. Maybe impossible.
Kevin Willis now on Barkley. First shot of the game, no good. Dominique Wilkins comes down with the Hersey Hawkins miss, and the Hawks have a chance to put the first numbers on the board. Hawks have won just 4 of their last 10 here in the Omni. In fact, this is their 4th home record since the 84-85 campaign. Doc Rivers with 2, doesn't get it. Moses and Kevin Willis battle. Willis fights, little right-handed hook, which he has been very successful as of late hitting.
Hawks should be able to get an awful lot of offensive rebounds against the small lineup of Philadelphia tonight.
Hawks have averaged 33 wins a year in this building. Only 22 and 15 so far this season. Dawkins pull-up jumper on the way. Nothing but the bottom.
Johnny Dawkins a real streak shooter. If he can get off, he's capable of big nights. A real streak shooter.
He has shot 55% the last 5 games. Came over in the big trade with San Antonio, which sent Maurice Cheeks to the Spurs. Willis works underneath. A little right-handed shot goes down again for Kevin Willis.
Again, the size, Kevin Willis bigger than Derek Smith or Barkley in the post.
Speaking of hot shooting percentages, Willis is 56% in his last 8 games. Barkley plants his feet. That's a horse shot.
That makes it impossible to play Barkley now that he can make that outside shot, and he can shoot it from the 3-point range.
Tied up at 4, inside of 10.5 from the Omni. John Battle with the second perimeter shot for the Hawks. It goes down.
Teams come out shooting pretty well, but it's a slow pace right now. I think Philadelphia, without Mahorn, would like to play a slow-down half-court game tonight.
The Hawks, when they have been successful impressively this year, is when they have been running the ball. Good steal by Doc Rivers. He has Johnny Dawkins to beat. Johnny's just going to have to grab him from behind.
That's very good play by Johnny Dawkins. The problem now was Doc Rivers in front of Johnny Dawkins. If he was in front of Johnny Dawkins, it's a breakaway foul. And I believe he was in front.
Oh,
good steal. Good steal by Doc. Off the dribble. Helping out his teammate John Battle. See if he's in front of Dawkins. They're going to give him 2 shots. Close call. Very, very close call.
Jim Lynam's not too sure about it. He's checking with Paul Mahalik, the official on the far side.
I believe the call was side out of bounds. Let's play basketball. No foul shots on that play. Too close to call.
Well, Doc Rivers will be at the line to shoot a pair. That was steal number 100 for Doc Rivers this year. Dominique leads the team in that category with 107. 10th straight start for Doc Rivers.
It's a situation they're just giving him 2 shots now on this play. Haven't seen this call in a while.
Well, it looked like Johnny Dawkins had no question what he was going to do once the ball was stolen. Just ran right over, almost flagrant.
Doc Rivers is the key, Ron, to the success of the Hawks. When he plays well, the team plays well. He has to do the intangibles, and he can do them well. Hasn't really come back off the injury, though.
And that impressive, or in that loss to a disappointing loss to New York the other night, Doc Rivers was the big cheerleader on the side as he sat out as a makeshift lineup for Coach Fratello. Came back from a 16-point deficit to take the lead, only to lose it at the end. Barkley baseline, works underneath. He's quick.
The ability of Barkley to jump from a standstill. He gathers himself, and people clear out when he drives to the hoop.
Barkley averaging better than 25 a game. He is 7th in the NBA in scoring this season.
Pick for Dominique.
Dominique way on top. Willis has been successful underneath. Turnaround off the glass. Moses over Jaminski with the board.
And Jaminski sometimes has difficulty playing back-to-back games.
Moses saw Willis maybe a tad too late because Willis had Johnny Dawkins on him for a second. Percy Hawkins standing on the three-point line comes up short. Jaminski fires right away. He wasted little time.
That's where they've improved our basketball team with perimeter shoot. Everybody on the team can shoot from the outside. What a plus factor.
Hawks trail up by 1. Kevin Willis with the rebound. They're going to set it up again with 22 on the shot clock.
Philadelphia, if you don't straight post up against them, they'll force you to shoot the outside shot. They don't let too many layups.
Barkley has improved his defense, but the Hawks keep going down low to Kevin Willis. Whistle, foul.
I think that's what Ricky Mahorn brought to this club, a defensive scheme basically that Detroit used, where you have to shoot from the outside, no layups, anybody drives, you knock them down, be very physical.
Johnny Dawkins picks up his second personal, second team foul. Hawks with 20 on the shot clock. Jaminski comes over with the double team. Leaves somebody open underneath to Kevin Willis. Oh, Charles Barkley with the block, but John Battle puts it right back up, doesn't get it. Willis answers.
What a beautiful play by Barkley, but again, nobody on the offensive, on the defensive glass for Philadelphia.
Hawks up by 1. And Jim Lynam wants a 20-second timeout. Let's take a look at the block for Charles Barkley, number 45 this season.
Philadelphia trapped the pick and roll, and on the rotation, Barkley had to come over and make the play. Barkley can do so much. There's the end of the play with the offensive rebound by Kevin Willis after the missed shot.
There's Charles Barkley last night versus the Knicks. 39 points, 15 rebounds. That 39 points a season high for Sir Charles.
Talk to the people involved with the club in Philadelphia. They felt after the game he had like 15 points, 8 rebounds. He's getting so good they don't notice it now.
They have been hot the last 4 months.
This is a good team. They've really done a good job in putting the parts together. Mahorn was a finishing piece, not playing tonight. But again, now Lil Brooks coming in the game. He can shoot the three-pointers. They really have outside shooters, which opens up the middle for Barkley.
Kevin Willis with 6 of the Hawks' 9 points this evening. As you mentioned, Scott Brooks scoring number 1, the second-year player out of Cal Irvine. This is the story of the CBA player who keeps working hard, signs as a free agent, and has played the last 2 seasons. And he is one of the nicest young men you'd ever want to meet.
And did not start in the CBA. He's come a long way to be with Philadelphia and an important part of the team.
Dawkins with 2 personal fouls is out. Derek Smith working it around. Brooks looks for Barkley, and it's a turnover. Hawks have a chance to go up. Good pass to Willis, who's tripped from behind.
Charles is claiming he did not trip Kevin Willis, but he actually saved the basket. I think Kevin was going to slam dunk the basketball.
And Hawks have it out near side.
Pick and roll, Moses. They'll trap the pick and roll. Moses and Doc Rivers.
Dominique from 20, yes.
And if you rotate the basketball against Philadelphia, you'll get the open jumper. You have to stick that shot to beat Philadelphia.
Dominique has led the team in scoring 7 straight games. Barkley fakes the 3. It's Kevin up in the air. Willis goes for it. We've got contact.
Not a real good call. I believe let him play again. Officials have called him tight tonight. Because there's a pump fake by Barkley. He just leans in. A lot of people might call that an offensive foul against Barkley.
On a physical team like Philadelphia, do officials tend to call their games just a little bit closer to everybody else?
Particularly when he and Mahone are in the game together. And, you know, Kevin Willis is very physical also.
Inside all the way, no good by Hawkins. Tipped up and in by Jaminski.
Again, everybody took off for Atlanta. Stay on the defensive boards and then fast break. Can't run without the basketball, obviously.
Hawks lead it by 1. 7:10 remaining in the first quarter. Kevin Lockery with Ron Thulin as Moses Malone's shot won't go down. Barkley with his second rebound this evening.
He'll take it all the way.
You called it, but he lost it. Moses comes up with it. Hawks have a chance to run. 3-on-2. Now it's a 3-on-3 as Derek Smith gets back. Kevin Willis goes right. John Battle's pass goes left.
Not a good decision by John Battle. He doesn't run the middle of the break very often.
Timeout on the court.
So often leaves Philadelphia all over the offensive glass on missed shots. Here comes Mike Jaminski on a slam cam. Nice tap in. Second effort. Nobody contesting Mike on the offensive boards. And the same thing has happened on the other end. Atlanta's had a lot of offensive rebounds against Philadelphia early in this game.
Philadelphia brings it in, trailing 11-10, 650 field goal percentage. Neither team shooting really hot except Philadelphia 5-8, better than 50%.
Slow pace to this game, Ron. Very slow pace.
Derek Smith tries to go baseline, spins on Dominique off the foot of Doc Rivers, right into the hands of Kevin Willis. Doc wants everybody to clear out. Dominique working on Smith, double pumps up short.
That's a little bit of the problem that the Hawks have had all year. Dominique likes the left box. That's the opposite side where he caught the ball that time. Not comfortable on the right deep box. And Moses and he kind of get in the way of one another a little bit in the offense.
Percy Hawkins in his second season from Bradley. Works off the pick.
Good defense by John Battle.
That time Battle couldn't get through the Mike Jaminski pick.
They're calling the fouls close tonight. A lot of ground and touch fouls being called early. I think, Ron, you hit it early in the game that with Philadelphia and Atlanta can get very physical.
And John Battle's whistled for the foul. Brooks on top, sees the three, misses the three. Jaminski again right back up with it, and Mike Jaminski knocks down his 6th point this evening.
Mike Fratello's really upset. Nobody rebounding on a defensive board. John Konkak will be in the game shortly.
3 rebounds for Jaminski, all on the offensive side.
Pick and roll, Doc Rivers, Moses.
Pull-up jumper by Doc, rattles home.
And Philadelphia will give you the outside shot. You just got to take your time, measure the shot, and put it in the basket.
As Konkak set to check in, so is Ron Anderson. 3-point play by Derek Smith, and people said his career was finished after his second year with that serious knee injury, but he has filled a role here for Philadelphia.
Also, very physical play. He, Mahone, and Barkley are the toughness of this team.
Hawks down by a pair. Here comes Barkley right around Dominique Wilkins. It's showtime, folks.
On that situation, Barkley steals the ball perfectly in the post, takes it the length of the floor, makes the pass. What a great basketball player. Pick and roll, same play.
Doc to Moses. Moses loses the handle. Ball belongs to the Hawks. No, we have a foul.
When in the post, you get top side, just like Barkley played that. Perfect. Reach in with the arm out, right hand. Take it the length of the floor. Good pass to Derek Smith. Super play. He does it so easily, Barkley, with such little effort. Ron Anderson's back in the game now for Philadelphia. Coming in the game. He could also shoot the basketball.
Ron Anderson, the 6'7", 215-pounder out of Fresno State. 6th year in the NBA. Second-round pick back in '84 by the Cleveland Cavaliers is Moses Malone.
A great pickup by Philadelphia from Indiana. Jaminski over Malone. That should not happen in this game, but now you're going to go a situation. Konkak eventually will come in for Moses. They're a little concerned about the defensive rebounding.
And well, they should be. Inside to Smith, has to kick away back out. Jaminski tips it, Battle tips it. Here come the Hawks. 3-on-3. Doc tries to find an opening, pull up, throws it up, doesn't get it. Anderson leading the charge of Sixers. 5 on everybody. Sir Charles.
Good play by Philadelphia to get back defensively because it was 5-on-2.
Lob underneath to Moses. Moses can't get the handle. And then John Battle comes up with the steal. Does he see Dominique? Pull-up jumper from 17. Yes, for JB.
Well, that's the last 2 times on the break. John Battle, Doc Rivers running the break in the middle. have not hit the big people on the wings, and that really upsets big people when they run the floor and do not receive the pass.
Hawks trail up by 2, 4:08 remaining to be played in the first. Hawks looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. Well, they've won 4 of their last 7. They find themselves tied with Cleveland for that 8th and final playoff spot, with the tiebreaker going to the Cavs. Another horse shot for Barkley. Air ball.
Preston never got back. Good hustle by Brooks to get back. Barkley missed the shot, never ran back on defense. You don't see that very often.
Scott Brooks picks up his first.
There's times in the game, though, I talked to Barkley that he has to, particularly tonight, he feels he's going to have to go 40, 45 minutes. He's going to have to pace himself at times in this game.
Well, that sends Kevin Willis to the line as Brooks picks up his first. John Koncak has checked in, and Moses Malone sits down. Kevin Willis, 6 points this evening.
Only 2 team fouls on the Hawks, 5 on Philadelphia, first period.
Kevin Willis, after he came out, warmed up, went to chapel, started bench pressing about 200 pounds in the locker room, and just sat there for about 15 minutes, and he had a look on his face that was serious. He was ready.
He's played pretty well. Of all the Hawks lately, I guess he's played the best basketball.
Would you term his year successful, considering he's coming off that leg
injury? Ever since he's got a lot of minutes. When he wasn't getting a lot of minutes, he didn't play nearly as well.
Kaminsky tries to fake Koncak out, doesn't get it. Back with the rebound. Outlet to Doc Rivers. Good outlet pass by John. Over to Dominique. Spin move on Anderson. High arc over Barkley, and Kevin Willis is there for the tip.
That was a good play by Doc Rivers. That time he hit Dominique on the wing. Neek did not make the shot, but opened up the avenue for the offensive rebound. Another offensive rebound by the Hawks.
4 rebounds for Kevin Willis, 3 on the offensive end. Barkley, baseline. Can't get the slap. Barkley with another 2. He has 8.
So great on that play. He was moving towards the basket before he caught the ball. What great hands.
They list him at 6'6". He's probably 6'4" and a half.
At the most. He's only just a little bit bigger than I am, and I'm about 6'9".
But you play 6'8".
I play 6'1".
Battle has 6. Hawks trail up by 1. Brooks all alone, uncontested.
That's terrible defense. You have the man go right down the middle. Not a good leap for where he's going in to dunk the ball. Just lays it in. Terrible defense by the Hawks.
A man that is 5'11".
Exactly.
2.5 remaining in the first. Hawks down by 1. Brooks putting that right hand up on Doc Rivers. Doc slapping it away. Talking to Scott Brooks. Now the Hawks finally get some ball movement. Battle, pull-up jumper, in and out. Tipped by Willis, no good. Barkley with the board. Number 4. To Anderson. Spots up, doesn't get it. Rebound, Dominique tries to tip it. Smith with the jumper. Another 3 for Derek Smith, his second.
Not the player on the club you really expect to be taking all these 3-point shots. Derek Smith, but he's hit 2 of them. He looked real good rotation on that shot. Hawks standing around a little bit on offense, and that's when they get in trouble.
Ties their biggest lead. A little indecision defensively by Anderson. It cost him a foul and a basket.
What a great crossover dribble by John Battle to freeze the defense, take it to the hoop, and get fouled. Nice play.
And we've got a timeout on the court. 1:43 remaining in the first.
The turn, spin, quick move. Misses the layup on the weak side help by Barkley, but there's Kevin Willis. 6th offensive rebound for the Hawks. Hawks with 6 points off the offensive boards. Philadelphia has 9 points off the offensive boards.
Well, Hawks trail by a pair, and it stays that way.
Seems whenever you have a long rest and you're on the foul line, you hate not to have that foul shot before you go for that break.
Livingston and Webb in the lineup. Also Thornton. Bob Thornton, the 5th-year man, wearing number 23 for Philadelphia. Good pressure by John Koncak on Ron Anderson. A little give and go, though. Goes right around him. We've got a foul, says Bennett Salvatore.
That was a break for the Hawks. They called the foul away from the hoop. A nice play, a nice adjustment by Philadelphia. When Koncak came out to double team and trap, they dove it to the basket, got fouled. Good adjustment by Philadelphia.
Well, Bob Thornton in the lineup. He is a banger. I don't think Cack has to worry about anything offensively.
Exactly. This way you lose more horn, and you get deeper into your bench. Guys that have not played a lot come out in the first period of playing.
Spud goes over for the double team. Has to hustle back for Brooks. Cack with another rebound. Number 2.
Brooks is more successful from the 3-point area than he is from the 2-pointer with the jump shot.
Spud looking for a pick and roll. Livingston doesn't get it. 14 on the shot clock. Cack can't get the pass into Livingston. Brooks leading the charge. Hawkins has trouble with the handle. Works on Battle. Drives the paint. Anderson, a 2. Doesn't get it. Spud high for the rebound over Dominique. The Hawks on the run. They trail by 2 inside of 1 minute in the first.
Ron Anderson is really hesitating on his shot. He's using a quick shooter with a lot of confidence. Not confident right now.
Spud, 9 on the shot clock. Has to do something with Dominique with 7 on the shot clock. Dominique shakes and bakes to the hole, and he doesn't get it. Cack with the rebound, and he is pushed from behind. And that'll be on Thornton.
Dominique not being able to finish the play tonight, but he's causing a lot of switches and a lot of double teaming and letting the other big people go to the offensive boards uncontested. John Koncak, 2 shots.
A few would say Neek only has 2 points. Moses only has 2 points. Doc only has 3. And the Hawks are within 2.
Again, this team is going through a little changes right now, though, Ron. Moses and Neek didn't play down the stretch of last game, and Mike's made some quick substitutions tonight. They're trying to find the numbers. They only have 8 games left. They've got 8 games left. Everyone's so crucial.
Well, the Hawks, who shot 42% in the fourth quarter against Detroit, that cost them the win as they only hit 19 of 31 from the free throw line in that game. They missed 2 again, and they're now 4 of 9 from the line.
One-on-one Barkley. He'll shoot the 3-pointer. There it is.
Up over Livingston. Yes, for Charles Barkley, the 3. You called it. And with 2.3 seconds, Philadelphia will go to the locker room with the halftime lead as Spud Webb won't get the shot off in time. We have played 12 minutes in the Omni in Atlanta, and it is the 76ers 29, the Hawks 24.
The nice slam dunk by Sean Kemp.
We tested in laboratories.
There's still 9 offensive points off the boards, 6 for the Hawks, and no foul shots yet for Philadelphia in this game.
Kenny Smith is coming to the lineup, as is Alexander Volkov. Volkov takes it to Moses inside. Moses working for 2, doesn't get it. Tipped by Sasha, tipped by Moses, finally goes down.
Philadelphia came out with a little half-court trap. Good attack by Atlanta, another offensive rebound.
Well, Spud Webb was one of those 5, and Sasha Volkov that led that comeback against Detroit. Volkov whistled for the foul.
Right now you have Spud Webb running the lead guard spot and Kenny Smith the 2 guard spot for the Hawks.
I'll tell you, Sasha Volkov and Spud Webb and Cliff Livingston, John Koncak, yeoman's work the other night.
Particularly when they get into a trap situation. They trap very, very well, that group.
Anderson with Volkov on him. Spud with the steal. He's got Kenny Smith down the right side. Can he get it to him? Spud takes it to the hole, throws it up, doesn't get it, but he draws the foul.
Game of confidence. For some reason, Ron Anderson doesn't look like he wants to take the jumper tonight. Forced the drive, turned it over. Spud gets fouled. 2 more foul shots for the Hawks.
It's the number on Scott Brooks, 2 this evening. And at the line, it will be Spud Webb. At 12 points versus Detroit off the bench.
Spud's had a very good year. When they brought in Kenny Smith for the Hawks, it took some of his minutes away, but he really had an excellent year up to that point.
And when Doc came back, it took some of Spud's minutes even more away.
Exactly right.
But he hasn't complained.
Now, he plays hard. He gives the team a lift. Good player coming off the bench for any team.
Anderson with Volkov on him. Livingston, he's on Sir Charles. Barkley has a big smile on his face when Livingston comes out. Between the 2 of them, there's more they need toothpaste out there. Drive inside, doesn't get it. Moses with the outlet pass to Spud. Kenny Smith really hustling down the court.
He likes to run the wing, Smith. He plays well in that position.
Smith over Hawkins, and he buries it.
That's where I believe he's best. His game is best, Kenny Smith, at the 2 guard on an open running game.
Smith averaging 8 points even for Atlanta, but 12.4 for the season.
Look for Barkley, left box against Livingston.
There's Barkley. Goes baseline on Cliff. He makes it look so easy. Second time he's done that.
It's so good because he's moving before the pass hits him, and he catches the ball with a great hand and just keeps going to the basket. He's so quick.
13 points for Barkley. The Hawks trail it by 1. 10-15 remaining in the first half. Volkov kicks it back to Spud. Spud shakes and bakes. Pops, doesn't get it. Thornton with the rebound. Anderson quickly down court. Thornton likes to bang underneath.
He set a lot of picks, Thornton. Very aggressive player.
10 on the shot clock.
Moses will give him the outside shot. There's a double team.
Brooks with 5 on the shot clock. Inside the court, his left-handed hook won't go. Livingston with the rebound.
The small lineup again in the game for Philadelphia.
Johnny Dawkins will come in for the 76ers on the next break. Smith fakes the jumper, takes it to the paint. Oh! Charles Barkley throws that one up in row J.
He waited and gathered himself. What a great timing by Barkley.
That was a Western Union telegram. His second block. 3 on the shot clock. Spud puts it off the front of the iron. Volkov battles for the rebound.
The Hawks with the size factor can really dominate the offensive boards, but they haven't been able to score.
Spud all the way to Moses. Moses waits, and he misses the shot.
Charles Barkley can do so much on the floor. In this situation, he just waits and times Kenny Smith underneath the basket. Here he comes. The only mistake he made in this play, Ron, was banging it out to half court. He could have picked the man to hit the block with. He's some player. He played the whole game tonight. He'll probably play all 48 minutes.
I wouldn't doubt it. Moses Malone has averaged 12 points and 6 rebounds only against Philadelphia this season. He had a season-low 3 points on December 13th. He only played 19 minutes. And in the 54 minutes he's played in 2 games, Moses has had only 1 assist against this team.
Hawk foul shooting has really gone downhill, too, over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
It's gone down the last couple games, too.
Yeah, concentration factor is not good for the Hawks right now.
Hawkins' pull-up jumper is short. Volkov pushes off for the rebound. Shoves Anderson right underneath, and Sasha will pick up his second personal.
Sasha was surprised, but he allowed Anderson to get inside. And once you allow Ron Anderson to get inside like that, you have to foul to keep him from getting an easy basket.
A few games ago, a foul was called on Sasha for a block that he didn't think was a block, and after the game, he came up to me in his Soviet Union humor, said, "Referee must be from Lithuania." He thought it was funny. Hawkins underneath. He gets the 2, and he draws the foul.
Hershey Hawkins is going to the basket much better this season than he did last year. Last year he was mainly a spot-up outside shooter, taking the ball real well to the hole now. There's a little curl in the play. He curls around his man, catches it from the slam cam, reverses. Nice play all the way by Hawkins, and that's a big addition to his game, being able to drive the ball to the basket.
Well, Cliff Livingston takes a seat on the bench, and Kevin Willis, who had 9 first-quarter points, checks in as we look at the numbers on Hershey Hawkins.
Philadelphia has really been playing big, been scoring a lot of points lately, but tonight, because of playing last night, coming on the road today, no more horn, they've slowed this game down, and they've got the game the way they want it right now.
114 to 104 was their loss last night to the Knicks. Patrick Ewing with nuts. Spud pull-up jumper over Hawkins, and he nails it.
2 times Philadelphia is trapped. Nice pass, Dawkins to Hershey Hawkins. But the 2 times that Philadelphia has trapped the Hawks, good ball movement, 2 baskets for the Hawks.
The Hawks get beat on the defensive end.
That kills Mike Patel, the coach, when you get beat like that. Work hard for who? Then give it up so easily.
Willis with 9 on the shot clock. Backing in to Volkov, driving a paint, little double pump move under Thornton, and Sasha with his first 2.
That's a pretty play. Kevin Willis out of the post, reverses the basketball. Sasha dives to the hoop. Nice play by the Hawks.
Starters, most of them, except for Moses and Kevin, sitting down. Anderson drives baseline of Thornton, stolen by Spud, tipped to Sasha Volkov. Volkov with a 4-on-2. They've got to complete this. Moses to Volkov. Oh, and they had a 4-on-2 chance, and they can't take advantage of it.
Wrong people in the wrong position on the break, though.
Dawkins buys the break, and Charles Barkley says, "Just get me the ball in my hands."
That's how not to run the fast break by 2 teams. Moses in the middle on 1 break and a terrible pass. Dawkins to Barkley on the other end.
9th turnover for Philadelphia. Kaminsky comes back in. Fast break points. Philadelphia 6, Atlanta 0.
2 long jump shots by Kenny Smith. That's a good sign. He's played a little bit better lately. When he first came over to the club, he struggled a little bit at the lead guard spot. I think Mike's using him at 2. He's more comfortable right now.
Hawks have regained the lead by 1. 7:10 remaining to be played in the second quarter. Good ball movement by Philadelphia. Hawkins fakes the jumper, gets around Smith. Spud tries for the steal. They just throw it up to Barkley, and it's busted play made good.
Is that an assist for Hawkins, or was that a shot taken?
Shot taken. Spud has it stripped away by Barkley. Barkley around Smith, around Spud. Takes it to the hole, up off the glass. He doesn't get it. and he slams the backboard underneath.
Almost a major mistake by Spud Webb to get in Barkley's way, because Barkley is like a freight train running out there. If you get in his way, he can kill you.
Timeout, 6:51, Philadelphia.
But he's always involved. Here he comes up with the steal. And once he steals the ball, he's able to handle the basketball for big men on the open floor. And watch this reaction after he misses this layup. Spud gets in his way. Nice play by Spud to stop the hoop. Now watch Barkley.
He wants to make everything.
Excuse me, is that what he said? Excuse me, folks.
And that sends Charles Barkley to the line as the front court points. Points belong to the 76ers by 11.
Charles Barkley is one of the best actors in the NBA. I mean, a lot of his stuff is really just put on. He's really a good guy to be around, fun to talk to, and a great player.
People don't see the side of Charles Barkley. He says he's the type of guy people can get used to hating, but they don't see him coming into the Omni early and signing every autograph and waiting around talking to the kids, handing out $20 bills in New York City to the homeless on a recent trip. People don't see that side of him, but he is a fun-loving guy, happens to like the game. Good shtick, good shtick.
Little slight trap, fake trap by Philadelphia. They do this a lot just to kill the clock a bit.
Hawks trail by 3. Moses sets the pick. Smith dishes off to Willis. Little right-handed hook, and that jump hook for Kevin Willis has been successful the last couple of games, and Willis now with 11.
Good pick and roll. The weak side on the pick and roll has spots to be in, and Kevin Willis was in the exact spot he was supposed to be.
Rather a lethargic first half for both teams.
Well, the fans aren't in the game, and I think that has a factor on the players a bit. Kevin Willis just bumps Barkley off the floor.
And a score from this evening. Miami leading the Celtics 37-26 in the second. They trail Philadelphia by 2.5. New York 4.5 in that Atlantic Division race is Jim Lynam. Coached in college for 10 years. Was coach of the month in the NBA in January.
He's done a great job with this club. A lot of people didn't feel that it was easy to coach Barkley. And he's done a terrific job. Mahorn's come in. There's a lot of power to this team. Barkley's going to play the whole game tonight. He's played the whole game so far.
49 double-doubles this season. Not bad when you've played 75 games. Better than half.
He can play anywhere on the floor. They'll fake trap, or maybe they're going to go to a half-court trap this time, Philadelphia. 1-3-1. Hawks have attacked this very well.
Hawks trail it by 3 as Dominique Wilkins set to check back into the lineup. Has seen limited action so far this evening. Smith with a 2. He was right on the line. Right to Kevin Willis. Puts it right back up and in.
When you trap the Hawks, you force them to pass the basketball and rotate it side to side. That helps the Hawks to trap them.
5 offensive rebounds, 6 total for Willis to go along with his points, and he has been the one Hawk that is hot. Dawkins shot no good. Doc Rivers, who's back into the lineup, replacing Spud, brings it down. All the way to the hole, and he goes for the jam, but Charles is there for the block. He goes, sorry, Doc.
Doc's a little bit upset by that play. He felt that he was hit a little late on the play, but you could see Rivers from the whole length of the floor. I don't believe Doc Rivers is healthy. The whole end of the floor, he didn't have the great burst of speed he usually has. There's the push by Barkley. Now I understand why Doc Rivers was upset on that play. But how much can you say to Barkley?
Hello.
That's right.
How you doing?
Excuse me.
Volkov is checked out. Dominique Wilkins back in as Doc Rivers is now 1 of 3 from the line.
One turnover in the last 18 quarters. That's pretty impressive right there for a guy that handles the ball an awful lot.
Well, Doc with 3 points this evening, trying to make it 4, and goes down.
No traps. The Hawks haven't trapped. They're very successful against Detroit with the trap, but they have a special team that traps. This is not the group that will trap.
Tied up at 42, 5.5 remaining in the half. Now Moses on Barkley.
Barkley's waiting for the double team. There's the illegal defense right there.
Now, don't you have 2.9 seconds to get over?
That was a very close call because Doc, what they're claiming, Doc went to double team Doc Rivers and did not go all the way. Once you commit to go and you cross that line, you have to go all the way. He did not go all the way to double team.
Derek Smith triggers the inbounds pass. Barkley, Malone on him. Barkley just setting up, goes for the drive. Fall away is good.
Barkley points at Moses. You cannot play me out on the floor. Unusual matchup, Barkley against Moses.
How about 21 first half points for Charles Barkley?
And it really doesn't look like he's got that many.
Jump shot no good. Loose ball foul, says referee Ken Maurer.
Fouls on Johnny Dawkins.
Dawkins has 3.
That could be key tonight. They really are just rotating all the guards. Here comes Scott Brooks back in the game for Dawkins. Barkley plays the whole game. Now they got Barkley. They should try to get Kevin Willis in the offensive down and deep in the post against Barkley. Pick and roll.
Now they're looking for Willis underneath. Now Dominique, little scoop, shot. Not a pretty shot. Goes right to Moses Malone. He battles underneath, and he's got 2.
Mike Kaminsky looks a little tired. He went against Ewan last night. Ewan had a big game. That's a tough matchup. Ewan one night, Malone the next night.
How is it for Mike Kaminsky to go back-to-back games?
It's tough on Mike. He really struggles against big, strong people back-to-back.
Smith finds a little opening in the defense, gets it right to Jaminski, who puts down his 8th point.
Too many times tonight, Philadelphia's drove right down the middle against the Hawk defense. Someone's been wide open. There's Kevin Willis. They should leave him on the box, trying to draw a foul on Barkley.
Tries to get the pick on Hawkins. Kenny Smith has to get it back to Dominique. Doc plants his feet for a 3, and he drains it.
Same play. On the pick and roll, just rotate the ball to the top of the key to Dominique, then to Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers' 5th point gives the Hawks the lead inside of 4 minutes from the Omni.
Tough assignment for Moses to play Barkley.
There's Jaminski underneath again, and Mike Jaminski is finding that opening again.
But Kevin Willis just totally fell asleep on the play and let Jaminski dive to the basket.
And that is exactly what Mike Fratello just said to Kevin Willis.
That's what they should do. Go against Barkley in the post.
Hawkins with the double team. No look pass. Goes right to Scott Brooks. Barkley. Rivers comes out on him. Bounce. Oh, what a pass underneath. The shot won't go. Tipped up and in by Hersey Hawkins.
What a great play by Charles Barkley and a terrific acrobatic shot by Hawkins. And then follows up to this shot. Nice play by Barkley and Hawkins.
Hersey Hawkins, what a move underneath, but the pass from Barkley. Bounce passes. Now the Hawks turn it over again, trailing by 3. We are nearing the 3-minute mark. Smith all the way to the hole, and he gets the basket, and he draws the foul.
22nd timeout by the Hawks. Another guy driving right down the middle. Nobody contested him. You will have to at least let the players know you can't come down here. Here's Derek Smith flying down the middle. Everybody basically almost getting out of the way. Lays it in. 3-point play opportunity for Smith.
Barkley has averaged 21 versus the Hawks in the 2 games this year, and he has 21 already this evening. We are yet to play the second half.
They haven't used Dominique Wilkins on Barkley yet tonight. That might be the best matchup for the Hawks.
Barkley and Moses down the far end of the court. Barkley is cracking up about something talking to Moses. Smith can't get the free throw to go. Goes right into the hands of Dominique.
Barkley ends up talking to everybody in the arena before the game's over.
In the near future, in one of our Hawks telecasts, we will have an all-trash talking team.
He's got to be on it.
Oh, that's not much of a surprise, but it'll be a good story, I guarantee you. Doc Rivers with another 3, and Doc with 2 from Trey Land.
Again, that's the Philadelphia defense, though. They double-team anybody driving to the basket. You dump it back out, you got the open jump shot. Looking for Barkley on the post.
Doc gets him back into the game. There's Barkley down low. Moses comes out on him. Doc comes over for the double team. That leaves Brooks open to Hawkins for a 3, and Hersey Hawkins answers Doc Rivers.
And Barkley causes it because he commands the double team.
To Doc. How about a 3rd time? Doc Rivers comes up short. Hawkins with the rebound. Brooks, the smallest man on the court, all alone for the rebound.
Smart play by Scott Brooks. The jump shot, the long jumper by Doc Rivers. He took off. He was guarding Rivers. He got the easy layup on the other end.
Biggest lead of the game for Philadelphia. They are at 7 inside of 2 minutes. Brooks and Smith on the double team. Back to Wilkins. Inside. Charles Barkley puts Dominique to the floor.
I think you see the difference in the teams on that play. It's the 3rd foul by Barkley. Not a smart play maybe because it's 3rd foul. But here you drive to the hoop. Wilkins going to the basket. He gets killed by Barkley. No layup the other end. Philadelphia's allowing, the Hawks are allowing Philly to lay the ball in the basket.
Beating Charles Barkley, but fair to say Charles Barkley has taken about double the shots of Mark West.
Exactly right. That's terrific shooting by Barkley.
They are 11 of 13 from the paint this quarter as Charles Barkley, with 3 personal fouls, has had to sit down next to his buddy Rick Mahorn.
Let's see how big that is. He went out with his 7-point lead. Less than 2 minutes. The Hawks might get it back to even before the halftime with Barkley out.
I told you before the game that some of the players were saying that Barkley is so much more humble this year, and you said Rick Mahorn probably has had something to do with that.
I think he's helped. Here's the trap.
To Kenny Smith underneath for the jam.
Hawks will come right back with the 2-2-1 trap.
Scott Brooks to Hawkins. Jaminski gets it over to Smith. He has a couple of three-pointers to Hawkins. Good ball movement. Anderson inside. Smith, quick turnaround over Moses is short. Doc Rivers comes up with a loose ball. Here come the Hawks on the run. Good pass to Kenny Smith. He looks for Dominique Wilkins. Just couldn't get it to him.
Against the trap, if you get the ball in the corner to a shooter right like Ron Anderson, he has to be prepared to shoot the jumper. He was 1 for 8 against the Knicks last night, and then tonight he's very reluctant to take the shot. On the fast break, Kenny Smith fumbled the pass a little bit. Fortunately for the Hawks, they didn't steal the basketball. Now they got Dominique in the post against Derek Smith.
Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Kevin Locker and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game. As Kenny Smith dishes off to Moses. 9 on the shot clock. Doc Rivers with Brooks on him. Shot clock down to 5. Doc has to look up. Works on Brooks. Pull-up jumper. He hits it.
Well, here's the trap. Mike Patella's yelling, get back in the trap. 2-2-1. 3 quarters this time.
There's Doc, looks for the steal, doesn't get it. Brooks has to get it near side to Hawkins. Anderson, Moses moves out on him. Moses still on him. Hawkins, or Anderson, spin move. Moses blocks it, but he's whistled for the push.
That's asking Moses too much to play around Anderson way out in the floor. Moses is very, very quick. So you're talking about playing almost a guard-type player way out in the floor. Nice play by Anderson on the spin. Get fouled for the 2 shots.
Oh, Ron Anderson steps to the line. 31 years old.
He was a great pickup for this team, Ron. Terrific pickup.
A lot of people were calling him the heir to Bobby Jones. That's the first 4 seasons in the last couple of years. 14.2 average. He played in all 82 games last year. This year he has played in 71 of the 75.
It's funny how a player can develop that late in his career when he's been in the league so long. But you can see he's struggling with the outside shot. He misses 2 foul shots, and he's a good foul shooter.
He was a 26-year-old NBA rookie. Coach, you called it. Hawks have a chance to take the lead with Barkley out of the lineup as Dominique forces up the jumper, doesn't get it. Moses can't get the rebound. Anderson does.
They should hold it for 1 shot. They depend so much on Barkley when he goes out. Just about half of that offense leaves because he commands a double team. All you have to do is put the ball in Barkley's hands, and you get an easy shot on the weak side.
Well, Dominique Wilkins with only 4 points did not take a good shot for Atlanta. May cost him the lead as Doc tries to get the steal. Koncak saves it, throws it up to Bob in row 6.
Good play, though, but he used up an awful lot of clock by throwing that ball up to Bob in row 6.
Bob was not wearing a uniform, but it did spill his cold
And
one.
Bob did not shoot the basketball. Should have taken a shot, Bob. Too bad. 3 seconds, plenty of time to get a shot. Look for Hershey Hawkins, a pick from Jaminski.
Now Ken Maurer and Bennett Salvatore are going to talk about it. They're debating whether to bring Bob down.
That's right. Here comes Bob now for 2 foul shots.
57-56, 76ers with Barkley with 3 personal fouls on the bench, lead it by 1, 3 ticks remaining. Jaminski with 1.5, they're not going to get a shot off. Well, the Hawks dodge a bullet the last 3 seconds of the first half as they head to the locker room, trailing Philadelphia by 1. Coming up next, Nicole Watson and our Prudential halftime report. Stay with us.
And really dominating the offensive boards. That was to be expected. 12 bench points for the Hawks to 4 for the 76ers. Barkley is the key. When he went out, they had a 7-point lead. In a minute and 47 seconds, it went to 1 point.
The Hawks trap. That has kept them in it.
That helped them when Barkley went out of the game. And when you talk about a 2-2-1 trap, you're talking about a situation with 2 guards up front. Koncak as a forward, Dominique here. Moses back protecting the back court. And when you have a 2-2-1 trap, the first key is to make sure that the guards make an aggressive trap. Get the loop pass, stop it right here. Here comes Dominique. His job is that any loop pass to make a gamble. Take the gamble on the loop, go after it. He goes after the loose pass right here. Here it comes, and then he takes it to the basket. Dominique is so quick that he has the ability to pick up the loose balls. Then he hits Smith for the layup. Nice job on the trap by the Hawks, and they'll have to use that probably a little bit more in the second half, particularly when Barkley's out of the game. Barkley, a long bounce pass. Not many players can make it that long, but Hawkins does a great job, misses the layup, but he's right back on the offensive boards for the tap. A nice play by Barkley and Hawkins. Another play by Barkley. He's had 2 assists. These are his 2 assists in the first half. Just a quick dive. Kevin Willis fell asleep on that play. Let Jaminski dive to the basket. Easy layup for Jaminski. Barkley has 2 assists, 4 rebounds, and 21 points.
3 with 10. Jaminski, Hawkins, and Smith for Atlanta. It is Kevin Willis with 13 points. 9 of those coming in the first quarter. Doc with 12. 9 of those in the second quarter. Dominique, the big guns for Atlanta. Dominique only with 4. Moses only with 7. 3 of those coming from the free throw line, as Atlanta was not very successful from the free throw line. The Philadelphia 76ers, Charles Barkley with 3 personal fouls. 40-5 when they lead at intermission.
That's an amazing stat. And right now, Barkley will be the key, as he is every night. But the one factor, 3 personal fouls. He's not going to be able to help out a lot defensively. He has to make sure he does not pick up 4 and 5. But the big key, you can see the Hawks change it a little bit, Ron, with Moses and Dominique not being the big scorers. Here's a little fake trap by Philadelphia.
Moses clapping for the ball on the right side of the court. That is not his favorite spot, as you've talked about numerous occasions. He likes that left box, which now is occupied by Dominique, who comes out. There goes Moses. On Jaminski. Fall away, turnaround. Doc with the rebound. Right back up, doesn't get it. If that's on Barkley, let's see, that'll be 4th.
That's a decision.
Hawkins.
When you Hersey Hawkins in that situation in Barkley, they usually give the foul. They know that Barkley has 3 fouls. They don't want to give him the 4th one unless it's an obvious foul.
So then Cleveland the other night.
Exactly, but Hersey Hawkins is a key also to this club. He cannot get in foul trouble, but that's only his first foul.
Well, Doc, 84% on the year is only 2 of 5 this evening from the free throw line. Has 2 3-pointers.
That's 8 foul shots missed by the Hawks in this game so far. The concentration level on the foul line has really been poor for the Hawks in the last few ball games.
We alluded to what happened at Detroit.
When you look at that stat at the end of the game, if you lose, that's key.
That is one thing Mike Fratello looked as we were sitting in the locker room after the Detroit game. He says, I can't believe we missed this many free throws.
And by good foul shooters. Isolation, 1-on-1.
Barkley, little horse shot in and out, doesn't get it. Willis with the rebound. Rebound number 7 for Kevin Willis. On top to Doc, good ball movement. Battle fakes the jumper, takes it to the hole, uses his body well in the glass.
Ron, the Hawks have missed 15 out of 31 foul shots, the last 31 foul shots at home. That's really unbelievable at home. If you're on the road, maybe you can live with that. Not at home.
First lead for Atlanta as Dominique comes up with a steal to John Battle. To Rivers, running a 3-on-2 to Dominique. Underneath to Dominique, finally gets a point. His first field goal since the first quarter.
Break runs right when you have the right people in the right spots. You had the wings filled right by Battle and Dominique, and Rivers with the ball in the middle on that break.
Look at Willis and Barkley underneath. Kevin, the right hand on Barkley's hip. They work it around. Nobody comes out defensively. 3 on the way. The Hawks get a break.
Hersey Hawkins hesitated on the shot. Usually you could be short when you hesitate.
He already has 1-3 inside of Moses. Rolls it up and in.
Good stop by the Hawks. Poor defense. The first real poor defense played by Philly in this game in the last minute.
Jim Lynam calls a timeout. Hawks lead it to you.
Smile on your face, not far away. You went to the big third, not far away. You want to show out of you. Just for the reason, just for the taste of it. Diet Coke. Just for the reason.
Advertising executive Emery Leeson went crazy one.
Rivers with the basketball. That's the way to run the break. Get the ball to your lead guard in the middle. Let the big people finish off the break. Nice play by Wilkins.
Dominique Wilkins. Atlanta is on a 13-0 run over the last 3:45. Dominique has 2 of those. He has 6 for the game. Hawks lead it by 6. Their biggest of the game. 10-13 remaining to be played. In case you just joined us, Hawks trail by 1 at the end of 1. Philadelphia playing out without Mahorn. There's a hyperextended knee. Dawkins got a whistle. The officials worked well together.
With 1 minute and 47 seconds left in the halftime, they took out Barkley, they were up 7. They haven't scored since, Philadelphia.
Hawks going with the same 5 that started the game. Rick Mahorn on the sideline. John Battle doing a good defensive job on Hawkins. Putting some pressure.
Where to play Hawkins, you got to be physical with Hawkins.
Goes right to the hole around Kevin Willis, tipped by Barkley. How about a second time? And Charles Barkley has 23.
That's something, though, Hawkins has added. We talked about that before. The drive to the hoop to open up the area for Barkley on the offensive boards.
7 rebounds for Charles Barkley to go along with 23 points.
Hawks standing around on offense. They usually get a poor shot when they stand around like this.
Now Hawkins getting physical with John Battle. Fakes once, fakes twice, has to get it out to Doc. 3 on the shot clock to Willis. Somebody better do something. Willis turn around as the buzzer goes off.
You could tell they would get in trouble in that set. They ended up with a pretty decent shot, though, with Kevin Willis on nice ball movement. Kevin Willis shaking his head on that shot.
He's really starting to hit that little right-handed hook shot.
That's a nice shot for a big man to have in the post. Hard to stop that play.
9 on the shot clock. Barkley, Willis gives him the shot. Barkley takes it, doesn't even move.
Have no choice. If you go up on Barkley, he'll go right by you, and then draw fouls, 3-point play opportunities. Give the outside shot, hope he misses it.
Pull-up jumper over Dawkins, and Doc Rivers drops it in.
Philadelphia's looking a little tired when they come out in the second half, giving easy shots to the Hawks.
Now it is Barkley again. Willis playing off him about a yard. Charles calling for Dawkins. Smith around Doc Rivers inside the paint. He's fouled.
Definite mistake by Rivers on that play to come running out. Play on the rotation and let Smith go right by him. The jump hook shot, Bernard King might have the best jump hook shot in basketball. Now everybody's around. Bernard was one of the first. A great shot. You can't block that shot. Jump high, and your body protects yourself. You don't leave an opportunity for the defender to get at the ball. That's a great shot for a big man to have.
Fouls on Battle, and Mike Fratello says that wasn't on the shot, it was on the drive as Smith misses the first. He's 0-2. Not bad since the break. It's really provided some veteran stability on this ball club.
Exactly. Also a very physical player, and it really helps. This club was a soft basketball team outside of Barkley. They added Smith playing more now. He's tough, and obviously Mahorn's a very physical player, and that adds so much to the team. The other players follow that physical group.
Smith really isn't the player that was waived by Sacramento.
No,
much better player.
He was a good player earlier, hurt his knee, and he's come back playing better now.
There's some ball movement by Atlanta. Moses was open for a second as Barkley was picked down the outside. Willis with the jumper comes up short. Smith with the rebound. Outlet to Dawkins. He's got Jaminski, and oh, what a play by John Battle. Coming right back, Smith knocks it out. Ball belongs to the Hawks. What a play by John Battle. Jaminski was parked in the lane.
Second time on the fast break that Hawkins has not made a good pass. He had the man wide open, but it's a very good athletic move by John Battle. He surprised Dawkins on that play. Nice play, John Battle.
Hawks lead it by 5 inside of 8 minutes at the Omni.
Looking for Dominique, left box, where he's comfortable.
Has trouble getting through as Dawkins fronts him. Smith was behind him. 3 on the shot clock. Somebody put it up. John Battle does a 3, doesn't get it. Moses and Willis battle for the rebound. The Hawks have it. Battle tries it again. He doesn't get it. Yes, he does.
That's great touch. You talk about a shooter's roll. That ball hit all sides of the rim, and John Battle got the roll on that play.
That had some junk on it.
It's a loop. Drive to the basket by Dawkins. That's his game.
Dawkins with the left-handed shot as Doc Rivers bites the floor.
That's why I believe Doc Rivers is not back healthy 100%. He used to be very difficult to drive by him, and it seems that the players have been able to get past him on the defense.
Hawks almost had a miscue in the backcourt. Up by 5 inside of 7. Moses driving on Jaminski, kicks it back out to Dominique. Takes a dribble, a shot, and he gets the basket.
You can feel Dominique's trying to play a low-key game tonight. He's not forcing any shots, not taking any shots hardly. Just playing really low-key tonight. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Barkley coming off that season-high 39 points last night. Shot on the way. 3 doesn't go down for Dawkins. Rebound Doc Rivers as the Hawks lead it by 7, trying to get their biggest lead of the game. Dox throws an alley-oop off the glass. Way to use the backboard, Doc, right to Dominique.
Nice pass, Doc Rivers off the backboard. Another easy shot for Dominique. There's been some unusual passes in this game tonight.
Barkley, 21 first-half points, only has 4 here in the second half. Now it is Smith. 9 on the shot clock. Spin move. Gets Moses up in the air. Goes back up with it, and he's got it.
A little too easy. Smith right by Dominique. No real good help. Moses came to help. Nice play by Smith, though.
Looking for Moses down low. Moses fakes the pass to Willis. Right-handed hook shot. Little flat. Dawkins with it. 4 on 2. Barkley takes it all the way on Dominique, and he goes to the floor, and that's the first one Barkley's lost as far as body contact this
And
evening.
he really just looks for the contact, Barkley, on the wings when he's driving to the basket. He waits for the people to come at him. There's a little pushing and shoving with Kevin Willis and Derek Smith on the floor. But Barkley waits for the contact and makes sure he gets fouled before trying to finish off the play.
Some of the assistant coaches and the coaching staff of the Hawks don't mind it when there's something like that on the floor. They feel that sometimes gets their Hawks fired up.
I think Kevin Willis is a very aggressive player. We talked about Derek Smith. He will not back down from anybody. And, of course, Barkley has always been involved with everything that's going on at all times.
Well, he just goes over and high-fives Smith and says, that's the way to go. Let's look at it again. Here comes Barkley. He goes, this is my job.
Leave my man alone, please. Oh, a little smack here.
So if I was in a dark alley, I'd want Charles Barkley right next to me.
I'll tell you one thing. As quick as his hands are, I wouldn't want to get hit
No.
by
No.
Barkley.
The numbers on Charles Barkley. He's got that bulldog look in his eye.
See if Philadelphia goes to a little half-court trap after this foul shot.
Barkley has 6 in this half, 27 for the game, and the Hawks lead it by 5. 5.5 remaining in the third.
Pick and roll, Moses, John Battle.
Hawks trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Battle to Rivers for a 3. Doesn't get it, but Dominique is there for the tip.
All caused by the rotation of the ball to the weak side, though. Defense for Philadelphia, they lose their man, and enables Dominique to go get an easy second shot.
Well, during halftime, we gave the crowd here at the Omni some no-dos, and they have started to wake up
Trying
finally.
to get involved in the game. They've been disappointed in the Hawks this season, and you can see it. Here's another illegal defense. Second illegal defense would be a technical foul.
We're at the Omni in Atlanta, where this evening the Philadelphia 76ers trail the Atlanta Hawks 75-68. Along with Kevin Lockery, I'm Ron Thulin. Glad you can be with us this evening as the Hawks trailed by 1 at the end of the half. And now they have the lead. And Mike Fratello saying, why the illegal defense?
Well, Mike's claiming he faked the pass, and you allowed a little reaction defensively, weak side on the fake pass into the post. The official said no way. Second illegal defense causes for a technical foul. 1 shot.
And Derek Smith will bring it out the far side right next to Coach Fratello. 76ers trail it by 6 inside of 5 at the Omni.
Looking for Hawkins, though. He likes to drive left. Doc should push him to his right. He loves to go left. Try to push Dawkins to his right.
Dawkins averaging 14.2 a game. He has 6 this evening. Hawks 7-point lead cut down to 4. Moses starts to face up Jaminski. Smith against Dominique. Spin move off the glass. Won't get it. Neat gets his own rebound. Slapped around. Puts it back up and in.
Nice job by Dominique. He knew he was missing his shot. Was right back on the offensive rebound.
14 for Dominique Wilkins. 10 in the quarter. Hawks are shooting better than 64% in the third. Dawkins again. Dishes off to Jaminski. Little exclamation point for Mike.
And all caused by Barkley. You're forced to double team. I think the Hawks should wait till Barkley puts the ball on the floor and starts towards the basket before they double team. They double team him too early.
Top to Moses. Hawks lead it by 4. 3:55 in the third. Doc looking for Moses. Has the ball tipped. 4 on the shot clock. Moses doesn't look up. Finally puts up the right-handed hook. In and out. Smith with the rebound. That was a problem in Detroit. Twice the Hawks let the shot clock go down, and they were called for the violation.
And again, it didn't look like they knew the situation on the clock that time. That's up to the lead guards. I always blame the guards when that happens. Let the big people know the clock.
Spud will check in for the Hawks. Wilkins comes over for the double team. Dawkins drives to the left again over Moses. Doesn't get it.
Well, it's because when they come to double team Barkley before he puts the ball on the floor, he's able to just easily rotate the basketball to the weak side, and Dawkins is driving it right down the middle.
Boston has regained the lead against Miami by 10. That's in the third quarter. And Spud Webb comes in. Doc Rivers sits down as we continue to look at our Wendy's NBA scoreboard in Dallas. The Bulls trail the Mavericks by 6. Richie Adubato has done a fine job for Dallas this year.
Now they're without Tarpley, and that's some loss for Dallas.
In case you missed it today, Roy Tarpley was suspended indefinitely by the team for missing a practice and one of his rehabilitation meetings.
Philadelphia hasn't played well at the top of this third period. They hung in the game, only down 3. Anytime you got a Barkley on the floor, they can be extremely dangerous.
7 points for Dawkins. Cliff Livingston will come in for the Hawks. Spud Webb looking underneath for Dominique. We have a whistle away from the ball. I think that's on Hersey Hawkins.
Foul is on Hersey Hawkins. His second.
Hawks have 14 fouls. That's only the second team foul for Philadelphia.
Livingston replacing
Kevin Willis will take a breather as Hersey Hawkins picks up his second. Livingston comes in.
Now they'll post up Barkley against the small Levingston. Not the small Levingston, but he plays smaller than Barkley.
Spud trying to get it to Dominique. Finally does. Smith moves out on him. Shake, bake, shot off the glass, and he's got it, and he draws the foul, and Dominique says yes.
Nice play by Dominique. He took his time on the play, measured the backboard shot, and when you shoot it off the board, you must measure it. Got fouled, three-point play opportunity.
79-74 is our score, and we have a timeout. To be exciting, and you'll enjoy that event coming up after the Hawks game. Dominique Wilkins, 1 of 7 for 4 points in the first half. Second half, he is 6 of 7 for 12 points. He's starting to catch fire.
He's starting to catch fire. He's really playing under control, taking good shots, making the plays. He's played very, very well in the third period, not forcing the issue.
Dominique at the line.
Earlier I was saying I wasn't sure whether it was good or bad the way he was playing, but obviously he's come alive and he's really taking good high percentage shots.
I think he was frustrated at the 17 points against Detroit because, quite frankly, his shot selection was terrible.
And not playing the big minutes in a game will hurt any player who's been a big-time star like Dominique.
Kenny Smith has come in for the Atlanta Hawks as Jaminski with 10 on the shot clock working on Moses. Pushes that left shoulder in, follow-away jumper, hits nothing, but it goes right to the correct man, Charles Barkley.
And you talk about quickness. Barkley caught the ball off the backboard, was back up with the layup before anybody else on the floor reacted.
Barkley, of course, playing with 3 personal fouls.
He has a steal almost.
Livingston to Webb. Somebody's got to be open. Smith, baseline, has to stop with 5 on the shot clock. Kenny Smith dishes it off to Livingston, off the glass, and the bank is open for Cliff Livingston.
That's why you involve Barkley in the offense. He doesn't want to pick up another foul. He just let Livingston go for the easy shot.
2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Hawks lead it by 6. Dawkins drives to the right. A little reverse layup blocked by Livingston. Right back into Johnny Dawkins' hands.
Johnny Dawkins is totally breaking down the defense on the Hawks right now. No one can handle him.
Kenny Smith tries the same thing. Doesn't get it. Moses fights for the rebound. Being slapped by everybody. And Barkley finally gets a piece of Moses' head.
The Hersey Hawkins will be given a foul again, I bet. He's in the wrong spot at the wrong time, Hawkins.
They called it on Barkley.
And they call it on Barkley. That's his fourth foul. That could be a big play in this game. Good drive to the basket. Crossover dribble by Kenny Smith. Misses the layup. Moses back on the boards. Takes it back up. Gets fouled. Definitely got fouled by Barkley on the play. I thought they might give it to Hersey Hawkins. Bad foul by Barkley. 4 fouls now.
And Moses hits the free throw. He is 3 of 5 this evening. 4 of 5.
Now, offensively, the Hawks should try to involve Livingston in the pick and rolls, post him up a little bit against Barkley, see if they can pick up number 5 on Barkley.
Moses 5 of 6 from the line. He has 3 points here in the second half. 10 for the game as the Hawks up that lead to 5. 1.5 remaining in the third quarter. Big game for Atlanta. And as Charles Barkley told me before the game, he goes, how many times are you going to say this is a big game for Atlanta?
You said you weren't going to say that tonight to him.
I lied to him, but don't tell him. Spud into the paint to Dominique. Dominique's had the hot hand here in the third. Doesn't get it. Can't get the offensive rebound. Anderson does. Jaminski, pull-up jumper over Livingston. Comes up short. Dominique with the rebound. The Hawks are running.
They're going to have to take Jaminski out of the game. He's dead tired. Can hardly go up and down the floor right now.
Dominique had to wait for Kenny Smith to come down to run the offense as Thornton's getting ready to check back in for Philadelphia. Neek underneath, can't get it, right to Webb. New 24. Back up to Livingston.
Should not be a new 24.
Off the glass, no good. Rebound Dawkins. No, it shouldn't. Dawkins shakes and bakes. Spud tries to come up with the steal, knocks it out, and they say it's Atlanta's ball.
Good play by Spud Webb to force the turnover. Here comes Thornton in the game for Jaminski. Jaminski can hardly get to the bench.
Thornton comes out, or Thornton comes in. Jaminski goes out. John Koncak comes in, and Moses Malone takes a seat as we see the clock in the lower right-hand portion. Smith trying to find an opening. Livingston over Barkley. Doesn't get it. Cliff has been short his last 2 shots.
Cliff should take his time because Barkley's just given him the shot. He's not even challenging it.
And Cliff is an excellent shooter when using the bank. I mean, he sits and
Exactly.
practices it constantly.
Exactly. He can use the boards very, very well. Last shot of the quarter. Watch the three-point play. Try to back you up. He's going all the way this time.
3-point difference off to Thornton. His shot off the glass, no good. But look who's there to follow it up again. My goodness, shot. 3 seconds left. Kenny Smith says he drew the foul. No shot.
Not a smart play by Hawkins, though. They're in the penalty. 2 shots, his 3rd foul. Should never foul in that situation, but on the last offensive rebound by Barkley, this is incredible. He passes to Thornton. Watch him get back on his shot. No one else reacts. He's up there at 6'5". He's unbelievable.
9 rebounds for Barkley.
So you see players on given nights. You see Magic. You see Jordan. You got to put Barkley as a chance to maybe Ewing also as one of them 4 to be the MVPs in the league this year.
Well, Charles Barkley has scored 30-plus points in 4 of his last 5, and the 76ers are 15-7 when Sir Charles goes over that 30-point mark. Smith gets 2 of them back. Hawks lead it by 5 as the shot clock winds down. We have played 3 quarters at the Omni in Atlanta, and the Hawks have a 5-point margin over the 76ers. Yes, he does on Hersey Hawkins.
That's a nice job by John Koncak. There's 4 fouls now on Hersey Hawkins. Koncak does a lot of good things in the game that you don't see. You might not appreciate all the subtleties that you have to have, particularly defensively.
Hawks have a 5-point lead, 11:40 remaining. Only 1 turnover for Atlanta since the first quarter, and as we say it, put the whammy on him. 2 turnovers.
And one thing, though, Kenny Smith tonight has really been very aggressive offensively. That's a very good sign. They'll go to Barkley when they get in trouble.
Barkley sat out near the end of the first half.
Here he is.
Now Livingston moves out on him. Faces up with Cliff. Doesn't get it. Spud with the rebound.
Barkley really looks like he has fun playing basketball. He smiles, directs. There's just everything out there.
He went over and punched Terry the Hawk during the timeout, as a matter of fact. Just walked over and slugged him in the head. Double team by Thornton and Anderson to Dominique. 7 on the shot clock. Neek takes it to the hole, off the glass, and he gets the roll.
Can't let Dominique drive the middle. He'll kill you if you give him the middle. Push him baseline.
Hawks tie their biggest lead of the game at 7 inside of 11 minutes in the 4th and final quarter. The foul was called before the shot, and it is on John Koncak.
That's usually called continuation play by Hawkins, but you let Dominique drive the middle. His jumping ability, he can use the backboard so well. You have to push him baseline. He's tough going baseline, but in the middle cannot be stopped without at least fouling him.
Well, Dominique takes a seat on the bench, gets a little breathing time, and Alexander Volkov has come into the lineup. Sasha with 2 points so far this evening. Pull-up jumper by Anderson over Volkov goes down.
That's Ron Anderson. That's his shot. You have to be careful now. He felt it, took the shot quickly, and he can really shoot the jumper. They'll come right back with the same play, I bet.
That's his first 2, and he is averaging better than 11 a game. Smith pull-up jumper doesn't get it. Volkov tips the rebound right to Charles Barkley, number 10 for Barkley. He is soaking wet, too.
is going to take him one-on-one. He wants to drive this time. He's had enough of that outside jumper.
Backs up Livingston. Cliff trying to put that left hand, asking for help by Sasha. Volkov finally comes over. 76ers just worked the ball around. A three-pointer by Hersey Hawkins.
All directed by Charles Barkley. He asked Volkov, come over, double TV. Then they just rotated the ball around to a good shooter. Three-point play. Timeout Hawks.
Well, Mike Fratello doesn't want to get this one away from him as he leads it by 2 with 9:51 remaining in the third.
Time, Willie Anderson's jumper puts San Antonio up 2 over L.A. Who will the Lakers turn to in the clutch? In overtime, the Lakers go to Byron Scott to win it in the clutch.
Byron Scott for 3. He nails it.
You can expect the best from Teeth and Eagle.
Well, one of the most successful coaches in ABA history is the man on the right. That is Kevin Lockrate with Dr. J. Julius Irving. They both went to the same hairdresser.
I like that hair, though. That was really nice. Nice job, you guys. I taught Doc everything he knows.
He was 6'10 with the hair, right?
Doc couldn't jump when I got him, couldn't shoot, couldn't glide in the air. I taught him everything he had.
I'm telling you, you are some kind of coach. Won a couple of ABA titles.
It was easier in the ABA with Doc than it was in the NBA, I'll tell you that. Without Doc.
And we are back in action. 9:51 remaining in the ball game. The Hawks lead it by 2 as Moses Malone quickly up off the bench will come back into Atlanta's lineup. Spud, Koncak, Kenny Smith, Cliff Livingston, and Alexander Volkov for the Hawks. Sasha backs in. 3 on the shot clock. Little right-handed hook won't go. Cack with the rebound, and he puts it right back up and in.
Sasha Volkov has to learn how to take the little in-between shot, the 16, 17-foot shot. Good three-point shooter, but he's got to come up with the 15, 16-foot shot.
9:20, Hawks by 4. Koncak way out front on Anderson. Now Sasha Volkov may get called for an illegal D if he doesn't move. Inside Anderson doesn't get it, and we have a push.
John Koncak in the right spot at the right time. Volkov drives to the basket, little half hook. Slam cam. There's good hustle by John Koncak. Great picture of his pace and determination. He's a much better player than people give him credit for.
Moses comes in, Cliff Livingston comes out. Cack missed a dunk the other night. Anderson goes to the line to shoot 2. He's got the roll as we take a look at other scores from around the NBA this evening. Boston on top of Miami by 8 in Miami in the 4th. Chicago has regained the lead over Dallas in the second as Anderson hits them both.
Last 2 times down the floor, they went to Anderson after he made the jumper. Then he drove on the mismatch with Koncak. No trap by Philly. Austin played it well against the draft.
Cat comes way out. Dishes off to Spud. Finds a little opening. Dishes off to Sasha Volkov. And I'll tell you, Philadelphia got a break there because that was an easy 2.
Exactly right, but the Hawks have attacked that trap by getting the ball in the middle to the big man to make the pass to the wings, and that's the way you break the half-court trap.
First team.
Bob Thornton's whistle for the foul as Volkov goes out. Kevin Willis comes back into the lineup. Kevin, an excellent first quarter for the Hawks. 9 first-half points. He has 15 this evening total. Spud from the top of the key. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Spud improves so much in that area with that open jump shot. And it's a must for your lead guard to be able to shoot today with all the double team goes on.
Now John Battle will come into the lineup for Atlanta. Dawkins has the ball tipped by Kevin Willis. Good job by Willis. And Neek finally comes up with the handle, and Johnny Dawkins said it was a double dribble. It was close.
Johnny Dawkins has a tendency sometimes to leave his feet and commit himself a little early.
Now Spud wanting Dominique to clear out. 10 on the shot clock. Moses working on Thornton. Takes it to the hole. Easy doesn't get it. Barkley with the rebound. That is number 11 for Charles Barkley.
That was a good shot by Moses. Happened to miss the shot, but that was a very good shot. Look for Anderson. They've been looking for it. Now they're going to Barkley on the post.
Hawkins being guarded by Smith. Barkley. Willis gives him some room. 7 on the shot clock. Looking on top to Anderson. Cross court. Hawkins gets everybody up in the air. Then he has a block by Spud Webb. No! The shot clock went off. Ball belongs to Atlanta. What a play by Spud Webb.
That really surprised Barkley because he had a little bit of time to make the play. But they don't call the foul. Everybody respected the foul. Good defense on the play. Rotation of the ball. There's the weak side help. Nice play. Good no call. 24-second violation. Big play by the Hawks.
Block number 12 for Spud Webb. Now the Hawks lead it by 4, 7.5. Spud has to get it to Battle. Almost stolen by Hersey Hawkins. 7 on the shot clock. Battle lets it fly, and a rebound comes right down to Hawkins.
Then the Hawks using up an awful lot of clock.
Hawkins drags his foot. Battle staying with him. Dawkins goes to his left, to his right, pull up, boom.
That's a big mismatch there, Dawkins. If he can get in the paint against Webb, it's a big advantage. Here comes Doc Rivers. Probably come back to the game for Spud.
9 second-half points for Johnny Dawkins. He has 11 for the game. Dominique's pull-up jumper over Anderson, and Dominique keeps it up in the second half.
That was a nice play by jumping out by Dominique. He uses the screen real well in that play to open himself up for the easy jumper.
21 points for Dominique Wilkins, the 5th leading scorer in the NBA. Hawkins working on Battle. Shot clock. Here's the 5. Spud comes over for the double team. Shot no good. We have a whistle.
That was a nice job by Hersey Hawkins on that play because he took his time. He just backed him in, did not rush the play. Ended up just on a turnaround, gets fouled from the weak side by Spud Webb.
And Doc Rivers does check into the lineup.
There's 6.5 minutes left in this game, Ron. This is really, really big for the Hawks. They need this game. If Hawkins makes 2 foul shots, it'll be a 2-point game. Really big, big game for the Hawks at home.
Especially since they lost to Cleveland, that disappointing loss the other night. The tiebreaker, as we mentioned at the top of the show, goes to Cleveland if the two should tie for that 8th and final playoff spot.
They have to win one more game than Cleveland. That's big. Jaminski back in the game. He's had 6 minutes rest, 6-7 minute rest. They have a 3-point game. The Hawks have to play well and execute well down the stretch, and they've had some trouble down the stretch execute and moving the basketball.
Hawkins gets the second. He has 15 on the game. The lead is down to 3.
Pick across for Dominique. There it is.
Dominique's turnaround off the glass. He doesn't get it. He wanted it as Anderson.
You talk about execution, you have to execute. That time the play was set up by an excellent pick by Doc Rivers to get Dominique wide open on the baseline.
And now Jim Lynam talking to Bennett Salvatore, saying there was a foul down the other end. You missed it.
Well, the Hawks have gone to the line an awful lot tonight, and Jimmy's complaining he's not getting to the line enough tonight.
Hawks just 15 of 24, make that 16 of 25. Well, if you've been waiting for the Major League Baseball season, how about opening night? The San Francisco Giants versus the Atlanta Braves. That'll be Tuesday night, April 10th, live from Fulton County Stadium. Join the TBS crew for all the action of Atlanta Braves baseball. Right here on TBS. Dominique gets them both.
Coming down to 6 minutes, they usually obviously go down to Barkley. This time they're looking for Anderson.
Now Anderson and Dominique, as Dominique chases him, playing a little cat and mouse. Shot clock at 10. Barkley, Willis gives him a little room. Takes a swipe at the ball. Neat comes over for the double team. Barkley left open for the 3. 4 on the shot clock. Dawkins running left-hander. Dominique with the rebound. Here come the Hawks. 3 on 2. Can they make it a 4 on 2? Battle to Moses underneath. Oh, blocked by Jaminski. And we have a foul.
That was good hustle by Jaminski to get back on the play. The Hawks got a little crowded on this fast break. Nice rebound by Dominique on the defensive board. Missed shot by Dawkins. Dominique one-handed rebound. But the Hawks were crowded on the play. You have to spread out a little bit more. Here's John Battle going to the basket. Pass off to Moses. Good hustle by Jaminski. 2 shots from Moses Malone.
Moses has 10 this evening. Still struggles from the line. Has missed his last 2. Mike Fratello's got a big smile on his face as Moses whips up the second one, and it doesn't go.
That's been trouble. Foul shooting down the stretch, missed 2. Several games they've missed 2 at a time, which has cost them.
The Hawks.
Barkley might just take it by himself this time. He's asking for the double team again. Telling Rivers, come double team me. There it is.
They work it around with 4 on the shot clock. Dawkins lets it fly, and he bottoms it out.
When you have to double team, you leave yourself vulnerable to wide open jumper. Anderson, Hawkins, and Dawkins can shoot it, so can Jaminski.
Talk about the free throw shooting against Detroit. 5 of 12 in the fourth quarter. So far this evening, just 2 of 4 for Atlanta. Dominique all the way. Finger roll. Kevin Willis can't get the loose ball. 76ers 3-on-2. All the way for Hersey Hawkins as he takes a seat.
That was a good pass. Push the ball up the floor. Don't dribble it. Nice pass, Dawkins. That time, 2 Hawkins. 1-point game.
17 points for Hawkins. 4:40 remaining. Hawks by 1.
Hawks got to move around now. Don't get caught standing around. Looks like an isolation battle against Hawkins.
Hersey cuts off the baseline. 8 on the shot clock. Dominique Anderson looks to see if he's going to get some help. Dominique just pulls the trigger and he nails it.
Dominique's got the shot tonight. He's got the touch, good feel. That was a tough shot. Nothing but the bottom.
25 points for Dominique. 21 coming in the second half. 4:10 left in the ball game. Pull up by Anderson, and he answers it.
The Hawks do not want to see Ron Anderson get off. He's made his last 2 jumpers. That was the quick jumper, the one that he never hesitates on. He was hesitating early in the game, not now.
John Battle, near side. Hawkins moves out on him. Throws it right into the hands of Hersey Hawkins. And Hawkins quickly down court to Anderson. Reverse layup, and Dominique is whistled for the foul.
Again, coming down the stretch. Here we go with the Hawks again, not being able to execute in the half-court game. You have to execute in the half-court game.
Hersey Hawkins getting the congratulations from Ron Anderson as Anderson steps to the line.
Ron Anderson has picked it up in this last period, been much more involved in the offense, made a couple long jumpers.
Well, he was scoreless against New York as he is now 3 of 5 from the line. He has 7 points. Scoreless versus New York, and that was only the second time this season he was held without a point.
And he came in the game tonight a little gun shy, not wanting to take the shot. But he's got the rhythm now. Puts Philadelphia up by 1 point.
All Anderson's points coming in the second half. To score in the time remaining from the Omni, as Atlanta looking to keep the flame lit as far as their playoff hopes. But it is beginning to dim.
Pick and roll, Moses and Doc Rivers.
Doc over Jaminski. What a shot by Doc Rivers.
That's pretty good defense by Philadelphia. Jaminski jumped out. Give Doc Rivers credit for making a tough shot.
17 for Doc Rivers. 2 3-pointers this evening. Hawks back up by 1. Less than 3:20 remaining. Barkley to the hole. And Doc, who was slammed by Barkley earlier, this time tries to put him down. But Doc didn't get the 2 points for a takedown.
That's a good play by Rivers. He sent the message back that Barkley sent to him earlier in this game. No layups now. It's a tough job fighting off a man like Barkley. And Rivers being a tough himself. That's a big play by Rivers. Let's see if Barkley can make the foul shots.
3rd personal for Doc Rivers. Derek Smith will come in for Philadelphia.
He'll basically come in for defense, Derek Smith. They might start rotating offense, defense. Anderson coming out of the game, who's been playing well. Wouldn't be surprised if he comes right back for the offense.
32 points for Charles Barkley. Perfect from the line.
They put Derek Smith in the game. They played Dominique on the defensive end. Better defensive player than Anderson.
On the year, Barkley's 75%. Tonight, he's 100%.
Dominique against Smith.
Good defense played by Dawkins on Doc Rivers, hounding him as the shot clock nears the 10-second mark. Doc finds the seam over Jaminski again. Doesn't get it. Willis with the follow. Oh, and he doesn't get it, but he does draw it.
Big 5th foul on Charles Barkley. That really hurts because Barkley's got to be careful not only defensively. He's such a physical offensive player. He cannot afford to charge when he's going to when he's making an offensive move. Another second shot. Good drive by Rivers. Misses the shot. Everybody coming to help out defensively. There's the foul on Barkley. Number 5 is a little upset. Good call. We have an exciting 1-point game right now.
Jim Lynam in the huddle. Trying to get something going as Rick Mahorn has sat out this evening with a hyperextended left knee.
Philadelphia basically, though, Ron, has been able to control the tempo, slow it down because they played last night. No Mahorn, 100 to 99, not a real high-scoring game. Now every possession is big. They got Barkley with 5 fouls. The Hawks should come down, try to go against Barkley next time on the offensive end.
Well, Kevin Willis has recorded his 24th double-double this year. The stats, free throw percentage, last 5 minutes of the games, it goes down a little bit.
Here's why.
But it's flat. The Hawks fight for the rebound. Moses, Doc fights for it. Still loose on the floor. 1st and 10. They're going to say a foul on Doc Rivers, and that will be his 4th personal foul.
There's Charles Barkley talking to Rivers. They've been punching one another, swinging at one another all night. Now they're smiling. Good hustle by Doc Rivers on the missed foul shot. He knows Kevin Willis struggles a little bit down the stretch. Jumps in, gets the rebound. Now there's the hustle. Definitely a foul. Good call. Doc grabs him by the arm. 2 foul shots for Hawkins.
Well, Hersey Hawkins will go to the line, much to the dismay of Doc Rivers, as Derek Smith has come back in. Anderson has gone out.
Hawkins a good foul shooter also. That's a big play because they got an opportunity to score 2 points without executing on the offensive end.
You're tied up at the century mark. And Hawkins straight through the bottom. He is now 4 of 5.
Last few times they've gone down pick and rolls with Doc Rivers and Moses Malone on the left side of the floor, or Dominique on the left box.
Hawkins gets them both. 19 points now for Hersey Hawkins as Philadelphia has taken a 2-point advantage. Hawks will return this game to Philadelphia on Tuesday night as the two will meet in the Spectrum. Part of those home-and-home series inside the Willis double pumps. We've got a foul on Mike Jaminski.
That's perfect execution of the pick and roll by Doc Rivers. Pick and roll, you wait to draw the double team. When you draw the double team, you just hold the ball a little longer. Here's the double team. Good recovery by Philadelphia because they're putting a man to the line. It's only a 55% foul shooter last 5 minutes of the game.
Kevin shoots it and quickly walks away.
Most times when you make it clean, you should hang on the foul line, just maintaining your position.
4 of 6 for
2
Kevin
big
Willis.
foul shots by Kevin Willis.
The other night in the Detroit game, Cliff Livingston missed 2. One was an air ball. Sasha Volkov missed 1. Really had problems. Now, Atlanta picks up the defensive intensity. 2:24 remaining. Hawkins tries to get battle up in the air. In and out, no good. Rebound right to Charles Barkley. Puts it up and in, and he draws the foul for Moses Malone.
Good body control by Barkley. You can show the difference in this team in Philadelphia. They went in a big play isolation for Hawkins one-on-one. This is the shot. Barkley, there's the missed shot. Rebound Barkley. Watch him show Moses the basketball. Shows him, brings it back, takes the contact, foul, goes to the line. Jimmy Lyman is absolutely ecstatic on the play. Basket good, 1 foul shot, 3-point play Philadelphia. Big basket, Charles Barkley.
34 has 36, and Philadelphia leads by 3, 105-102. Barkley, 37.5 averages last 2 games. Inside to Willis, the Hawks turn it over.
Execution problem down the stretch. They've had it all season in the last 5 minutes of the game. Not a good turnover that time. Let's see if they go back to Hawkins in the isolation.
Only the 9th turnover for Atlanta, but it was indeed a costly one if Philadelphia can take advantage of it. Barkley setting up Kevin Willis. Shot clock down to 6. Hawkins with a 3. In and out, no good. Right to Jaminski. Follow shot blocked by Rivers. And Doc Rivers will pick up his 5th personal foul.
That shouldn't happen. 2 offensive rebounds. Barkley being a great offensive rebounder. They went to double team Barkley again, rotate the ball. Missed 3-point play. Here's Jaminski. Big offensive rebound. Hesitated a second. Right back up. Gets fouled by Rivers. 2 big offensive rebounds by Philadelphia. Now the Hawks are in trouble.
Jaminski, an excellent free throw shooter. Career, he's 84%. This year, just over 81% as he gets it. That's his first appearance at the line. Give Jaminski 13 points this evening, 5 rebounds.
There was a lot of complaints about Hawkins in the playoffs last year. Now you see him in big games. They go to him one-on-one. He's really matured as a player.
Mike Patel needs to talk about it. 142, the Hawks.
They've got a pretty good chance of winning the basketball game. Incredible. 33-3. That's incredible. 56% tonight. Now you have to look Possibly a three-point play attempt from the perimeter by Wilkins, but mainly they should drive the ball to the basket. Try to take it hard to the hoop, you draw the foul.
The Hawks are 15 and 31 when they're under 50%. That is where they are right now. Moses Malone with a loose ball. And he gets a whistle and a foul on the play. Too bad Moses couldn't get it up and in.
Again, that's a good drive by John Battle to try to draw the foul. Moses on the offensive rebound after the block. 2 foul shots. Moses has struggled down the stretch shooting fouls. Cliff Levinston coming in the game. He'll replace Moses for the trap. But he can't replace Moses. In college, he could come in after the foul shots, but not in the pros.
Moses has missed his last 3 free throws.
Got the bounce there. Let's see if the Hawks go to the trap. The 2-2-1 should go to the trap. Put Moses back or Kevin Willis back deep to block to be the last line of defense.
6 of 10 for Moses Malone. He has 12 points. The Hawks down by 3.
Here's the trap. They worked in the first half.
A lot of time remaining. And when the ball's in the hands of that man, you're in pretty good shape.
He'll take Moses to the basket if they don't double team right away. He'll go all the way this time. There he goes.
All the way, and Doc Rivers makes sure he's got him before the foul, and that'll be Doc Rivers' 6th personal. And Doc Rivers will have to leave the game.
That's a tough mismatch for Moses Malone, 20 feet out on the floor, to go one-on-one against Barkley. Good execution against the trap by Philadelphia. Then getting the ball in Barkley's hands.
17 points for Doc Rivers as he sits down with 1:19 left in the game.
Here's the drive to the basket, the help by Rivers. The strength of Barkley almost got that ball up to the basket. Rivers fouls out. Kenny Smith replaces Rivers. He'll be the lead guard. Played 2 guard most of the night when Webb's been in the game. This foul shot by Barkley.
First miss this evening. 9 of 10 from the free throw line.
Barkley's played all but 1 minute and 47 seconds of this game at the end of the first half.
And he works hard during that time. That's not just standing around as he hits the second, but the Hawks now find themselves down by 4. 1:19 remaining to be played. Don't go away. This one's not over yet. Top of the show, the Hawks are having their worst home season in a number of years.
That's mainly, Ron, because they're not really a good defensive team anymore. They used to be an outstanding defensive team.
Dominique with the baseball pass to Battle. Still a lot of time remaining as John Battle takes it all the way to the hole.
See if they go to the trap. Straight man-to-man. No, it's a 2-2-1 trap.
Philadelphia, no problems. Now the double team have to get it over to Smith, to Barkley. That's the ball, the hands they want the ball in.
Watch illegal defense by the Hawks.
2-point game. Willis overplays Barkley, goes right around him. Shot is no good. Moses Malone with the rebound. Inside of a minute to Dominique. Spin move, throws it up, doesn't get it, but he does draw the foul. What a rebound down the far end because Willis was beaten.
Barkley really missed an easy shot and kind of hesitated on his shot. I believe he was looking for the foul. Went across the middle, got in a position, Barkley, what he exactly wanted. Then on coming down on the break, spin Dominique, gets fouled. Misses the shot, 2 foul shots. Now Jimmy Lynam's in a different situation. Dominique with a chance to tie the ball game up. 48 seconds up. Jimmy's a little upset on the call.
And the Hawks will get the ball back no matter what happens down the other end.
Exactly. Philly's in a situation, though. Hawks might come and trap again. They've done a good job with the 2-2-1.
You don't want them to get a quick shot.
Timeout, Philadelphia.
And Jim Lynam has seen a 5-point lead drop to a tie ball game. 48.5 seconds remaining. We are tied at 108. Now let's go to our studios in Atlanta with Nicole Watson. Nicole?
Thanks, Kevin and Ron. Well, another cliffhanger in Atlanta. The Bulls have won 6 in a row and are 3.5 games behind Detroit for the top spot in the Central Division. And tonight they had a tough one in Reunion Arena in Dallas. Stacey King's family on hand from Oklahoma in the stands. Sam Perkins down low gets a triple head fake and goes around Scottie Pippen for the basket. But the Bulls retaliate. Michael Jordan throws the bomb to Scottie Pippen for the slam. Dallas is on a fast break, though. Rolando Blackman ahead to Derek Harper. They run past everybody for the layup. But then Bill Cartwright comes back with a shot that misses, but Jordan rebounds and dunks in his usual style. Chicago is up 57-47 at the half. Boston 115 over Miami at 105. Larry Bird with 37 points. Washington 33 to Milwaukee's 36 in the second quarter. And we'll be back to the Omni and let Ron Thulin and Kevin Lockley sign off right after this.
And thank you very much, Nicole Watson. Tied at 108, 48.5. Kevin Lockley, talk about 48.5 seconds. What does Philadelphia want to do so the clock will be to their advantage?
They have plenty of time to get a good shot and still have the ball back after the Hawks get possession. So they come down. They'll get the ball in the hands of Charles Barkley. He'll either drive it to the basket, or when the Hawks come to double, someone on the weak side should be open for an easy jump shot. The Hawks, on the other hand, cannot foul and cannot give up second shots. Everybody must come back and rebound the ball.
Each team has a 20 timeout remaining, a 22nd. Philadelphia with 2 full, Atlanta with 1, and the crowd, finally, we're hearing them.
That's right. The last several points scored by Philadelphia have been on second shots. So everybody, guards included, come in, defensive rebound, and don't foul. Might go to the trap.
I wonder if Mike Fratello said, gentlemen, this could be your season.
This is it. 2-2-1 trap.
Hawkins to Jaminski. A lot of time on the shot clock. Better than 10 seconds. Now Willis moving out on Barkley. Barkley beat him the last time. Shot clock down to 9. Pull-up jumper by Barkley, and he nails it. Oh, my. Charles Barkley, he ties his season high with 39. Mike Fratello wants a timeout. Is now, with 30 seconds left, we're talking 2 for 1.
A big key. This is a 20-second timeout Mike Fratello's taken because he needs that full timeout. Great play by Barkley. Take your time. He knows they're playing him for the drive. Turns, faces Willis up, takes his time, dribbles, gets Willis back on his heels, then the easy jump shot. No hands in his face. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Barkley's sensational game tonight.
He was kidding you before the game how he had to pick up the slack for Mahorn. He wasn't kidding.
He told me before the game he's going to have to play at least 40 minutes. He's going to play 46 or 47 minutes tonight if there's no overtime.
30.1 remaining to be played in the ball game. The Hawks down by 2.
Looks like they're going to Dominique on the left side. There he is.
5-second difference in the shot of the game. Smith doing a good job defensively. Here comes the double team by Dawkins. Battle, 7 on the shot clock. High archer doesn't get it. Kevin Willis with the return doesn't get it. Rebound control by Philadelphia.
Got a foul.
Got a foul. It's all over. Another disappointing loss for the Atlanta Hawks. 2.4 seconds remaining. And the 76ers have a 4-point lead. Oh, my.
Great defense by Philadelphia to come and double team Dominique. And then everybody get back for the defensive rebound. Kevin Willis got the rebound, missed the easy shot. Good defense by Philadelphia. There's Dominique getting open on the left side. Swing the ball. There's a pin down by Moses Malone to allow Dominique to receive the basketball. 1-1. Here's the double team. Good aggressive double team. Now here comes Jaminski. Passes it out. There's Battle with a tough shot. Kevin Willis, easy shot, misses it short. There's the rebound. Got 2.4 seconds, and it's a 4-point game. Push the ball up the floor. Here's the easy layup from Mike Jaminski for the 4-point lead. And it could be a big, big, big loss for the Hawks at home. Around 11 and 12 since January at home if they lose tonight. That's incredible.
Jim Lynam on the far side. Boy, you have to credit, too, Jaminski for hustling down. He took off.
Again, you really have to credit Jimmy Lynam for taking the opportunity to go quickly double team. A lot of coaches won't take that gamble on Dominique. He made him give the ball up to Battle. Battle took a tough shot, but Kevin Willis got the offensive rebound, missed it, and then they got the layup.
If a miracle does not take place, the Hawks will now have lost 4 of the last 11 in the Omni. 2.4 seconds remaining. A difficult task at best ahead. Just a reminder, U.S. Olympic gold immediately following our telecast this evening with Craig Sager, the U.S. Short Course National Swim Championships from Nashville, Tennessee, with John Neighbor, Tracy Calkins, and Rowdy Gaines. For the Hawks, the schedule goes like this. Travel to Philadelphia Tuesday. Back home Wednesday night against Milwaukee. You can see that game right here on TBS 735. Then the big road trip. How about at Detroit, at Milwaukee? You can see those games on TBS. It does not get any easier, and quite frankly, they've got their work cut out for them. They have to hope for a miracle.
You have to win at home. Now Philadelphia just cannot foul. Just let them shoot the basketball. Don't stop the clock. They win the game.
Moses Turner off the side, and that is it. The Hawks fall to 35-40 on the year, 22-16 at home, as they lose this evening the final 112-108. We'll be back.
Li Qin of the Chinese National Airline uses Craftsman, hand tools that are guaranteed forever. The tools a lot of people buy because they know they can always return them. And some buy because they know they can't.
BF Goodrich TA tires perform like great athletic shoes. They grab. They dig. They give you control.
BF Goodrich TA tires.
BF Goodrich TA tires, the athletic shoes for your car.
BF Goodrich TA tires.
I know about little lawns.
Little lawns.
Big lawns.
Big lawns?
Real big lawns. Want to know any more? That's great.
Atlanta, the 76ers win at the final 112-108. Well, tonight's Miller Lite player of the game is Charles Barkley. For the second night in a row, Charles Barkley scores 39 points, ties his season high. To go along with that, he pulls down 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists. A full night for Charles Barkley as he is our Miller Lite player of the game. On behalf of Miller Lite, TBS is proud to donate $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in his name. Well, coming up next on TBS, U.S. Olympic gold, a TBS Sports exclusive. Tonight from Nashville, Tennessee, the 1990 U.S. Short Course National Swimming Championships. That's coming up next, right here on TBS. Then on Tuesday night, the Major League Baseball season kicks off, and TBS will bring you the Atlanta